Okay, going back online. Hi, this is VK3AML, and we're about to transmit tonight's digital slow scan session through this tablet computer. So in a few moments I'll run the webcam up to the computer so you can look over my shoulder. The webcam doesn't focus terribly well at close range, but I'm hoping that it's going to work okay. We'll do that now.
Chris, VK3AML, did you want me to start doing the announcements yet, or did you want to wait until you've got... what's that radio not picking up my transmission? No. Did you want to wait until you've got internet access and the stream running before we open up with the announcements?
We've got it all going.
Fans going, Tim? Can you hear them?
Excellent. It is time. Can you hear the fans, did you say there, Terry?
Yeah, it sounds like you got a fan behind you or something.
Oh, there's a printer fan behind me. I'll just turn that off. No, that one there. How's that? Is that a bit better?
I'm not sure, mate. It sounds like a fan hater or something.
No idea. I have to investigate that after we do the announcements, because it is just turned 9 o'clock. Well, actually 9:01. My name is Tim, VK3FTZD, and it is time for the EasyPowerNet. The EasyPowerNet is... where are my notes? I've lost my notes. This repeater is the VK3 RML repeater. It is located at 146.700 with a negative 600 kilohertz offset and a 91.5 hertz tone. The EasyPowerNet is a net where we use digital slow scan imaging software called EasyPower to communicate images as well as large bodies of text and also animated GIFs as well through our radios using our audio interface cards and generally just a speaker input or even just an audio transformer on our radio, which is quite fun to do. We also have a Facebook page. You can find it by searching for the Melbourne EasyPowerNet. My name is Tim, VK3FTZD. I will stand by for any check-ins for tonight's net.
VK3AML.
JS. Victor Kilo 3 Bravo Oscar Tango.
VK3 GTG.
VCJN.
3AML if I doubled earlier.
That's alright, Chris, you stomped on Terry. So we've got VK3AML, VK3FTJS, VK3BOT, VK3GTG. You're a new name. I haven't seen you before. I haven't actually got your name, I'm sorry. And VK3CJN. VK3GTG. What was your name, sorry?
Yeah, no worries. The name this way is James. I'm located in Mooroolbark. I'll be listening only, or I should say receiving only tonight. I don't really have any capabilities or connections to transmit, or I haven't figured out how to hook up my radio yet. So, yeah, back to you, VK3FTZD, VK3GTG.
Excellent. It's good to hear some new faces, and hopefully you'll be able to decode some images and stuff through the night. Any more check-ins for tonight's net? This is VK3FTZD. Okay, nothing else heard. So we'll go up to the very top. I'm going to put my name into the list. VK3AML, you're up for an image when you are ready, and how's your week been? How are you? And tell us all about your experiment tonight. VK3AML, VK3FTZD.
VK3FTZD and group, VK3AML. Well, currently we're streaming the screen of my tablet computer running digital slow scan EasyPal system, and I'm also streaming a local microphone, and I have a direct connection from the radio to the stream, so that your comments on photographs are being streamed at the same time as the pictures are being received. But anyway, on the drop of the repeater, I'll transmit my first picture of the night, which is the shack taken about 10 minutes ago, maybe half an hour ago. VK3 Alpha Mike Lima with an EasyPal pic on the drop of the repeater. And this is currently transmitting the picture that you're seeing on this part of the screen. This thermometer up in the top left hand corner indicates how much of the picture has been transmitted, and when we're receiving, this area here is a waterfall display indicating the frequency of the 64 separately modulated sub-carriers that we're transmitting in the course of transmitting these digital images. Down here at the bottom there's a horizontal thermometer. You can vary the time of the transmission to suit the amount of detail in the image by adjusting this pointer, and at the moment I have it adjusted for 114 seconds, just under 2 minutes, which is about the same time as transmitting an analog slow scan TV picture in Scotty 1 mode, the standard mode that they use on 20 metres and 80 metres and such. So we can transmit a picture of far better quality than analog slow scan in about the same time on a voice channel, which is what I'm doing at the moment. You'll hear the sound of digital slow scan when the others transmit their images, and hopefully if you connect your digital slow scan software to the soundtrack of this video stream, you should be able to decode the image from the sound stream on this video. This is just about to finish. That's the end of my picture.
VK3AML, VK3FTZD, full decode of that at 23 dB here. And I hate it when you send images of your shack, because it looks so much better than mine. Everything's so neatly organised in racks and all that. But excellent image, I love it. VK3FTJS, how did you go decoding that image?
Yeah, 25 dB, full decode, 246 segments.
Excellent. And Stan, VK3BOT, how did you go decoding that image?
Usual standard from Chris, 20 dB up until the repeater ident got him, and 19 after that. And the shack looks a little cleaner than when we saw it last. Well done, Chris. Back to you, Tim, VK3FTZD, VK3BOT.
Thank you, Stan. VK3CJN. Chris, how did you go decoding that image?
Chris has wandered away from the mic, obviously. CJN.
Nothing heard, I'll come back to you. VK3 GTG, how did you go decoding that one? James?
Yeah, it came through okay. I just heard CJN, he came through to me then, so I'm not sure what was going on then. But anyway, yeah, it looks like I got 14 dB. Not really, like I'm a pretty new to all this, obviously, but yeah, 14 dB. All the segments are okay. Yeah, cool picture. A lot more cool stuff than I've got in my shack. Back to you.
Thanks there, James. And I think Chris might be transmitting on the output frequency then, maybe. I don't know. You want to go again there, Chris? VK3 CJN, VK3 FTZD.
Sounds like he's not there. Or transmitting on the output.
Chris, I'm not hearing you. Is anyone else hearing Chris?
Nope, nothing here.
Got the tone turned on.
I'm not sure what's going on there. VK3CJN, VK3FTZD. Are you transmitting on the output of the repeater by chance, or something else going on?
Nothing heard here, Tim.
Not receiving, Chris. VK3AML4 comment.
Okay, it's just the shack. At the left-hand side is chiefly audio gear in that rack with my Crow. The next rack across, mixer, graphic equalizer, audio peak limiter, audio amp, and above, at the back of that, there's a big black thing. That's the computer, the main computer. And then further to the right, the big screen for the streaming, which is going on at the moment, I hope, and the smaller screen, which is actually being used for the digital slow scan. And you can see a tripod standing in front of that tablet, and that's got the webcam pointing at the tablet at the moment. Unfortunately, I haven't worked out how to screen grab with the OBS software yet, so I haven't quite perfected this streaming, but hopefully we'll get there over the next few weeks. Possibly with your assistance, Tim, you being a lot more computer literate than I. VK3 FTZD, VK3AML.
Yeah, no worries there, Chris. I'll see what I can do remotely. Because, you know, of course I can't come and visit. Okay. Excellent image. Over to Terry, VK3FTJS, for his first image.
And now
tonight.
receiving.
And also, well, this one my monitor wasn't working, I was overloading it. And also, how's your week been? How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad. Bit more testing at the hospitals and stuff, and yeah, seeing whether I can have an operation or not. But yeah, other than that, just taking it easy and yeah, floating along, singing a song, and yeah, it was a yeah, it's been a very quiet week actually. It's just been one of them getting pneumonia shots and seeing doctors and stuff. So yeah, it's pretty well straightforward. All right, at the drop of the repeater, I'll put this through. This will I think this will make everybody have a bit of a giggle.
Okay, you can see up here this green thermometer being filled into its full length indicates that synchronization is being achieved between the transmitting and receiving computers, so that each of these 64 independent audio subcarriers carrying the information, the digital information, are synchronously detected. Down here at the bottom, that bar, you can see the green there, indicates how much of the picture file we've received so far. And it's all syncing nicely, and the signal to noise ratio, as you can see up there, is 19 dB. A picture should come up shortly. There we go. Oh, toilet paper. And we've received our first digital image of the night.
VK3FTJS, VK3FTZD, full decode at 19 dB here. And yes, now that we're in lockdowns again, certainly the case. VK3AML, Chris, how did you go decoding that image?
Well, it's up on the stream and it looks damn good to me, and yes, I've seen the people doing the lube paper gallop. This time, on the second COVID shut-in, I think the supermarkets are prepared for it, so it's less of a surprise to them, and there's no shortage. Gosh, they must be chopping trees down like they've never have before. VK3FTZD, VK3AML.
Quite probably. VK3BOT, Stan, how did you go decoding that image?
Well, I'm glad that I didn't have to, that I wasn't first up with a comment because I was too busy giggling. 18 dB at VK3BOT, and I could well imagine them extending the shopping trolleys so that you could put all of that sort of stuff like in it. Gee whiz, they're going to move a lot of motions in Parliament, aren't they? VK3BOT said that.
Oh, droll.
Chris, VK3CJN, are you back with us?
I don't know what happened. Everything went silent, and so I'm back with you. 21 dB and full decode, and I like the semi-trailer.
Excellent. And VK3GTG, James, how did you go?
Yep, 16 dB, full decode, and very true. If only you could put the toilet roll on their finger and they'd disappear. Back to you, VK3, FTZD, VK3GTG.
Yes. That's now beeping. VK3BOT for an image, and how's your day and how have you been?
Well, really, the last week's been a bit quiet actually. Not a lot happening. It's been interesting to see week one of this lockdown, and very similar to the previous ones. I've never seen so many people out and walking around. Yeah, but people obviously can't go to work, so they're pounding the beat in the streets and getting out and about. So have I actually. Yeah, it's done a lot of walking. Radio has been really frustrating. Been trying to do some 40-metre stuff, and that's been a bit of a dead loss. So yeah, but at any rate, we keep trying. And at the drop of the repeater, I shall send my first image. The K3BOT said that.
VK3BOT, VK3FTZD. I didn't get a decode on that, unfortunately. I don't know what happened there. VK3AML. Chris, did you get a decode on that one?
Level was a little bit high, and no, I didn't. I got a 28 remaining segments out of 180. So, and towards the end it lost lock. Was it the same for you?
Yeah, it was. I got 30 remaining segments. Did anybody get a decode on this one?
Negative.
Affirmative.
Negative.
Got 22 dB, then it dropped to 12, but I did get a decode with all segments.
Maybe if you send a BSR file, Tim.
Yeah, I'll send the BSR and see how we go. BSR from that's the one. Okay, this is VK3FTZD with the BSR at drop of the repeater.
Now Stan will send his correction. And we got it. Pun.
Oh, that's a good one there, Stan. Up to the BSR full decode at 19 dB. I like that. It's excellent. VK3AML, Chris, how did you go decoding this this wooden car?
Yeah, you wouldn't like to run into that, would you? Splinters would be fatal. What's the dB here? 19 dB, no problem. And streamed on the internet. It resolved itself almost as soon as Stan started transmitting the fix-it file.
Yeah, excellent. Terry, VK3FTJS, how did you go decoding this one?
Yeah, full decode on the second time, mate. 180 segments and 18 dB of full decode, and you wouldn't want to drop a cigarette in there.
She got pretty quick. VK3CJN, Chris, how did you go decoding that one?
Yeah, the decode 14 dB at the first transmission, but as I said, it was running at 22 and then dropped back.
Excellent. And VK3GTG, how did you go decoding this one?
That fixed it. I didn't decode it first, but yeah, full decode then at 14 dB. And yeah, a good joke to make the missus cringe. She hates my dad jokes. Yeah, back to you.
Dear. Back to VK3BOT for comment.
Well, if it's any consolation, my kids groan when I do a dad joke. They don't always appreciate it. But what is really interesting is that it dropped off at the end. And the other thing that is really interesting is that I haven't changed anything in here in the shack at all before or after. It's exactly the same as it's been for about the last 3 months. So yeah, that's very, very interesting. As far as the image itself is concerned, yeah, I got it off the net. It was actually on a friend's page on Facebook. So anyway, I cheated. Yeah, I'll have one of my own photos next time. Back to you, Tim. BK3BIT said that.
BK3WWB, portable listening.
Ah, a new one.
I never heard you for yonks.
Been on for yonks.
It's good to hear you on, Brendan. It's been a while. How are you anyway? Are you in a position to decode and to transmit it all?
BK3FTZD, BK3WWB. No, unfortunately not. I'm just on a handheld at the moment over at my girlfriend's house. And, even where I'm living at the moment, I don't have any antenna set up, or radio's not set up, so yeah, I'm not set up. Not able to do that for a little bit yet.
Excellent. Well, we look forward to when you are able to do it. Awesome. It's good to hear you on. Anyway, I've put you down in the log as well. Okay, we'll pass it over to VK3CJN for an image when you're ready. And how's your week and how are you?
3FTZD, VK3CJN. Yeah, week's been good. Had the two older grandkids here for homeschooling or online schooling or something. Had to spend part of the day with the young fella explaining some fairly simple arithmetic to him that he didn't understand. As soon as I printed the thing out, he went, "Oh, okay, I can see it." So obviously, some relationship between the screen and the brain didn't gel. But apart from that, all good. Yeah, I managed to cause my back to go into spasm just as I was setting things up for the night. So if you hear me groaning, that's what it is. Radio-wise, done a little bit of work. Played with a ZL and a couple of VK5s on 40 metres. Tried to get to a ZL this afternoon, but was unsuccessful. I think that was because he decided it was time for dinner. And that's about it. Got extended the antenna up about another half a metre, which makes it almost all the same level, which is amazing. So, at the drop of the repeater, I shall try and reach over and flick the switch and send a picture.
VK3CJN, VK3FTZD. That's very amusing. I like that.
Dear.
Full decode 20 dB. Chris, VK3AML, how did you go decoding this image?
Well, if you refer to the the stream later on, you'll see that it came through perfectly at 18 dB. And I might be done for sexism if any ladies are watching this stream at the moment. My apologies. Okay. VK3 FTZD, VK3 AML. Oh dear,
Excellent.
dear, dear.
VK3 FTJS. Terry, how did you go decoding this image?
Yeah, 13 dB, full decode, 107 segments.
Awesome. Stan, how did you go VK3 BOT, VK3 FTZD?
Yeah, very good. 9 dB here, and yeah, I'm not going to comment about that because I just got into trouble for an image that I put up on Facebook with my daughter. So there we go. Now we'll leave that one alone. Yes, it could be all the way around, but I must admit I really do like it. Back to you, Tim. VK3 FTZD, VK3 BOT.
And James, VK3 GTG, how did you go decoding that one?
All good here as well. 13 dB, full decode. And yeah, it's probably the day the first man cave was built as well. Back to you.
Yep. VK3 CJN, any comment on this one?
Very good point there, James. Yeah, it probably was the day the first man cave was built. Yeah, no, look, I don't think that requires a lot of comment. I think it's pretty self-explanatory, like mine are. And for your interest, I can just hear James on reverse. It's pretty scratchy, but it surprises me because he's still on the other side of that rotten mongrel Churnside Park Ridge. Yeah. Well, they've taken a lot of that hill out, so yeah, just over the top of the railway line to my place, James, in Lilydale. So I'll shut up now. VK3 FTZD, VK3 CJN.
It's all good, it's all good. While you were talking away, I had enough time to grab an image off my Google. Off my, Google Images. Okay. With that, this is VK3 FTZD with an easy PAL image at the drop of the repeater.
No problem. Received at 20 dB and duly streamed. VK3 FTZD, VK3 AML.
Excellent. VK3 FTJS. Terry, how did you go decoding that one?
Yeah, 21 dB, full decode.
VK3 BOT. Stan, how did you go?
I actually like the image. Yeah, it's not too bad. And I assume that you have built this one for yourself, because it's been a comment of discussion for the last couple of weeks. 16 dB at VK3BOT, and actually with 15 for probably about 3/4 of it, and then you popped up to 16 for the last bit, which is very good. Back to you, Tim. VK3BOT said that.
Yeah, excellent. VK3CJN. Chris, how did you go decoding this one?
All good, Tim. 14 dB here. Trying to work out YouTube on the other laptop, and yeah, I just can't find it, which is a pain in the neck. But not to worry, I can watch it later. And I might add that from my place to James's place is right over the highest point of the hill on Maroondah Highway at Victoria Road. He will know exactly where that is. Right over the top of that, and I don't know why I can't get there. Why I can get there. It's weird.
Yeah, not sure. VK3 GTG. James, how did you go?
Yeah, full decode, 13 dB, and yep, all segments okay. Just a quick comment to Chris. I put it on reverse, and yeah, you're coming through clear as day. So yeah, interesting, because if I stand on the roof of my shed/shack, looking out in the Lilydale direction, all I can see is the Mount St Leonard and those hills in the background. So must be a bit of a, what do you call it, knife edge refraction or something coming over the top there. But anyway, yeah, as for the picture, that is really cool. I just behind me in my shed, I've got about 20 RC planes hanging from the ceiling. I've never gotten my brain to be able to get used to flying quadcopters, but I have done a fair bit of FPV with RC planes, and it also looks like you've done a bit of 3D printing, because the little black piece on the front, whilst the resolution's a bit low, it looks like it's got the layer lines of a 3D print. So I do a bit of 3D printing as well. So looks like we've got a fair bit in common there, Tim. Back to you, VK3 FTZD, VK3 GTG.
Oh, that's quite interesting, because yeah, this whole frame, or the whole frame of the drone, the FPV camera holder, the holder that holds the radio piece at the back of it, it's all 3D printed. Even so underneath, it's actually got a carriage to hold the battery, and it's TPU, so it's flexible, almost like rubber, that you push the battery into, the battery pack into. It's only a 4-inch drone, runs 2S battery pack, and it flies fast. It's certainly not a toy drone, that's for sure. This was an image I took while I was at work the other day. It was quiet, and I was sitting at a park. You can actually see in the background, one of the cars in the background is actually the work van. It was quiet, I was sitting there, I did some PID tuning of it. I got it so it was actually mostly flyable, without bouncing around too much and still being quite snappy. So yeah, that's the story behind this image. Okay, we're back up to the top for the next image there, Chris. VK3 AML, you're up for an image when you are ready.
Okay, Tim, this will be my radio bench with the power supply and the two radios. The one at the bottom left you'll see is the one that's on the air at the moment. VK3 AML with an easy power peak on the drop of the repeater. So I hit the I reach up here and I touch transmit. And that's now transmitting. You can just hear our off-air monitor in the background if you're lucky. And this will take approximately 2 minutes to transmit at that resolution. One problem we have with the repeater is that quite often the repeater ident comes over the top of the digital stream that I'm transmitting. But this program, this means of transmitting the picture digitally, has Reed-Solomon error correction coding built into the signal so that it can tolerate the loss of about 10%, sometimes up to 50% of the signal, depending on how you configure it. We're about halfway there. You can see from this little thermometer here, which is moving to the right. That indicates how much of the signal has been transmitted. Down here you have the transmit time, 114 seconds. It's transmitting a file of 51K, which is transmitted in a file, a heavily compressed file format called JPEG-2 compression. So with a slight loss of picture quality, it's transmitting quite a terrific amount of picture detail. Almost done. 246 segments in the image, and we're up to 225 as I speak. And you'll get my ident. There we go.
VK3 AML, VK3 FTZD. Full decode on that one at 22 dB here, and yeah, it's nice and tidy. It's a bit tidier than mine. Actually, it's a lot tidier than mine. VK3 FTJS. Terry, how did you go decoding that one?
25 dB, full decode, 246 segments.
Excellent. Curious to know what's the deal with the brass things there in the middle of the screen. VK3 BOT. Stan, how did you go decoding that one?
We're with 20 dB at VK3 VOT. Obviously we can see a power supply and a couple of radios and a few meters. What's the Bakelite meter when it gets around to you, when it gets back to you, Chris? Yeah, very, very good. Miles more tidy though than what we're used to seeing from you. I mean, gee whiz.
You bastard.
I can actually see a bit of shine on that piece of board that you've got all the VK3 FTZD from VK3 BOT.
You'll keep, Mr. Stan.
Thanks, Stan. VK3 CJN. Chris, how did you go decoding this one?
I think I'll echo the comments of everybody else. What have you done, Chris? You've committed a neatness. I think there's got to be a night or two spent in a padded cell or something. Looks good. Looks very good. And a couple of copper saddles there and some coils of wire and all sorts of things. 22 dB here and a full decode.
Excellent. VK3 GTG. How did you go decoding that one, James?
I decoded it, but just as the moment it sort of swept onto the screen, it EasyPal crashed. So I've lost all the dB and all the other specs that came with it. But yeah, I've reopened it now and I can see the picture. And sometimes my desk looks that neat, and other times it doesn't. And then sometimes it looks that neat, and then other times it doesn't. So good work at the moment, Chris. Back to you.
Excellent. I'll just put it down as a decode, no value. Oh, awesome. VK3 AML for comment.
Yeah, okay. I have indeed cleaned the shack up for this exercise because I knew I'd be live streaming this for the first time, so I didn't want to create too bad an impression with the general great unwashed, of which I'm one. The brass items on the bench are saddle clamps that I was using to hold down a bit of conduit. Still trying to find a home for them in my partition boxes. I've been doing a lot of cleaning up preparatory to installing an Annan HF rig, so I need to clear the space, and getting transparent partition boxes to keep a lot of the spare parts that have been wandering around the shelves in profusion in such a way that I can't find them, so it makes the whole exercise of keeping them pointless. For those who are watching the stream, you'll notice I put a white paper border around the outside of the image on the webcam, and that is to fool the automatic exposure in the webcam into pulling the exposure down a bit. Otherwise it tends to overexpose on the image on the screen because of the black surround normally. So I'm learning to steer the whole streaming process here, and hopefully this will improve as the weeks go by, particularly if I can find a way to screen grab rather than pointing webcams at monitor screens with a little bit of blue tinge. I think the colour balance is not all it could be on the stream. The Bakelite meter at the top is an old-fashioned thermocouple RF current meter, which I use occasionally when I'm on AM on 160 metres to tune up the antenna, simply to get the highest antenna current. Very simple. That's it. VK3 FTZD, VK3 AML.
Excellent, thanks for that explanation. Very, very good picture there, Chris. Okay, over to Terry, VK3FTJS, for your next image.
Okay, at the drop of the repeater, this is an image of the original, what Flinders Street was going to be, and there was going to be 14 stations instead of 12, or originally 10 or 6 or whatever there was. And basically they ran out of money in 1909 when they were building it, so I'll just at the drop of the repeater, I'll put this through now.
VK3FTJS, VK3FTZD. It's an interesting image, actually. The angle on the front of it's slightly off. It's very nice. Full decode at 20 dB here. VK3 AML. Chris, how did you go decoding this image?
Sorry, I didn't have my streaming audio up, so that would have been incomprehensible to people on the net. We got that at, let's see, 21 dB. I haven't got quite things optimised, but you can imagine with all the streaming controls and the mixing, I've had my hands a bit full. But that's fascinating. I had seen some plans of what was originally intended to for Flinders Street Station to be, but I've never actually seen the model. Would have been spectacular, eh? And it just goes to show there was a major part of it missing. VK3, and congratulations on that image, Terry, very interesting. VK3 FTZD, back to you, Tim, VK3AML.
Thanks, Chris. VK3BOT. Stan, how did you go decoding this image?
Yeah, it's very good. What are we? 18 dB here again, and that image is actually quite accurate. The little tower on the far right, that's there. Not complete, but it's there. But it's the three camels humps that are not. I had known about this, but my understanding was that it was where it goes down Swanson Street, which is where the other bits are, was going to be exactly the same as the Flinders Street bit itself. But obviously that wasn't the case. That was the bit that I was... Now, while we're talking about that, unfortunately, they did the big rebuild on Flinders Street Station a few years ago, spent over $100 million on it. I was allowed to explore it before the build was done. I think I saw a couple of bits after the build was started, but unfortunately I retired before it was completed. But I would love to be able to get back through all of those, all of that top level, because we were on level 1. Where the drivers was on level 1, and then level 2 was training, and level 3 was whatever level 3 was. At any rate, it's all changed now. But it's very interesting. Thanks, Terry. Is it Terry? Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, VK3FTZD. I've waffled long enough. VK3BOT.
Yeah, thanks, Stan. And VK3CJN. Chris, how did you go decoding this image?
You added the clocks at Flinders Street Station. Still rings true. Yeah, very good. Very, very, very interesting image. 20 dB here, full decode.
Excellent. And VK3GTG, how did you go, James?
Yeah, full decode and 18 dB. Yeah, actually, well, I went online onto Google Street View and had a look what it actually looks like, because that bit where the camel humps were added, I wasn't sure what was there at the moment. So yeah, turns out there's really nothing there at the moment, because it's been a while since I've been to Flinders Street Station. So yeah, nice image. Back to you.
Yeah, excellent. Cool, thanks, James. Okay, over to Terry for comment. VK3FTJS, VK3FTZD.
Yeah, basically they run out of money, and yeah, somebody's actually done that model off the drawings. But yeah, that's what it was originally going to be. But yeah, it was way reduced, and if you count the clocks, I'd imagine you could work out how many platforms there was going to be. But originally, yeah, they said 14 with an open area like an English station. Or, yeah, something similar to that.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. Very, very interesting. There's a lot of rooms in the station as it is. Just imagine what it would have been like if they continued the way they had planned. All right, cool. Over to VK3BOT for an image. When you are ready there, Stan.
Yeah, there within the station precinct at the present moment, Terry, there's 9 platforms. Actually, sorry, it's not 9. There's actually 11. There's 11 platforms. So what is currently platform 10, on the other side of platform 10 where all that cafe area is there, that was platform 11. And then platform 12 and 13 were an extension of it. And of course platform 14 became an extension of platform 1. So yeah, quite impressive. They had big plans, just a pity that they hadn't got it off. I know I shouldn't say this, but I'm actually damn glad they didn't, because it would look out of place. When you look at what they were going to put in with a camel's hump, in comparison to what was already there, yeah, it wouldn't look quite good. But anyway, enough of that. I can wax lyrical all night about that building. At the drop of the repeater, VK3BOT will transmit his next image.
VK3BOT, VK3FTZD. That's an interesting looking piece of stone. Full decode at 20 dB here. VK3AML, Chris, how did you go decoding this one?
I keep forgetting to push up the mixer on the streaming microphone before I go to air. 20 dB also, and intrigued on what the rock is, if it's not the front end of Noah's Ark or something. Okay, VK, and it's 21 dB. VK3FTZD, VK3AML.
Thanks there, Chris. VK3FTJS. Terry, how did you go decoding that one?
No cigar, mate. Can we do a BSR on that one? 7 segments remaining.
Sorry, I doubled on you, Terry. Go ahead.
I'm just going to transmit the whole image again, because I didn't get a BSR from you, Terry. So I'm just going to redo the whole thing. VK3BOT said that at the drop of the repeater will make a horrible noise again.
How did that one come through to you there, Terry? VK3FTJS?
19 dB, full decode, 180 segments. Yeah, nice big rock. I don't know where it is, but yeah, it's a massive boulder.
VK3CJN. Chris, how did you go decoding this image?
First one better, because that came through at 22 dB and I had all the segments. The second transmission came through at 18 dB and I have 13 remaining. And like Chris said, my first impression was Noah's Ark. I have to agree with that. Yeah, but I'll be interested to hear the story of that one, for sure.
Yeah, I'd be quite interested. VK3 GTG, James, how did you go?
Yeah, full decode on that. Oh, actually, oh no, I think I had a full decode. I don't know, on the second time around it, did stuff. But anyway, I'm not sure what's happened. At the moment it says 165 OK segments, total of 180. But I do have the picture of the rock sitting here, so it was at 15 dB. So yeah, anyway, I've got it. And yes, explanation, it's a big rock. Back to you.
Yeah, thanks. Very interested to know what it's all about. Over to you, Stan, for explanation. VK3BOT, VK3FTZD.
Well, you might remember, I'm not sure. Now, Terry was here last week. No, he wasn't. Chris was here last week. The two Chris's were here last week. And I think I sent some images on that one of my excursions out to Shiprock Falls, which is on the Launching Pad Road, Gembrook Launching Pad Road, north of Gembrook. And that's a rock. It ain't Noah's Ark. Noah's Ark is about 180 degrees from there. It's a fair way away. But yeah, that's the rock, and it's a big rock. And yeah, very interesting. I thought it was anyway. So that's the story behind it. It's the rock at Shiprock Falls. It's nowhere near the falls. Well, it is, but it isn't. You actually walk past this this rock to get to whereabouts the falls are. So if I was to turn around 180 degrees from whereabouts I am, we would actually be looking at the falls. So there we are. Back to you, Tim. VK3FTZD, VK3BOT.
Oh, there you go. Excellent. Okay, over to VK3CJN for an image when you are ready.
Okay, so that is a rock shaped like a ship. It's ship rock. That makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. All right, at the drop of the repeater, I will send a Word document. So if you have trouble opening it, your word processor is the ideal thing to open it with.
Oh, what a laugh. This wait till I tell them what it's on. Oh dear.
Unfortunately, I don't know what happened there. I didn't get a decode at all. I got the file name, but no decode. VK3AML. Chris, did you happen to get a decode on that one?
Yes, we did. But on this little tablet computer, nobody has installed Microsoft Office. So what came up after a complete decode was a big sign saying, "You are trying to use Microsoft Office but don't have Office. Please activate and pay." So we've got it, but we sort of haven't. But it's a very effective way of showing the different aspects of using EasyPal. It can be used to transmit a huge amount of text in very short time. FTZD, VK3AML.
No worries. Yeah, I've got the file is corrupted, cannot be opened. That's my error message. So some issue with Word apparently. Okay, VK3FTJS. Terry, how did you go decoding this one?
Nah, I did the same, mate. We're sorry we can't open how to because we found the problem with its contents.
Okay, VK3BOT. Stan, how did you go?
With 13 dB at my place, and I got the same error message as everybody else is. I like blazes if that's what it is. And very, very interesting comparison. Chris's first one to me was 9, this one's 13. I'm going back to last week, we've got 13, 12, 12. And nothing on the last one for some unknown reason. Yeah, very interesting. Should I do a Pauline Hanson? No, not tonight. Back to you, Tim. VK3BOT said that.
I understand.
Yeah, no worries. I actually got it to open. If you click OK and then click yes, you wish to open it, it will open. It asks if you know this is from a trusted source. So, Chris, if I pick up a virus, I'm blaming you.
The other Chris.
VK3GTG, how did you go decoding this one, James?
Yeah, that came through all good. 13 dB, all segments okay. And yes, I just kept clicking yes, it's okay, and then it finally opened. In fact, it started to open automatically in Microsoft Word, which surprised me. I didn't realise it would do that. And yes, read it all, and very true, Chris. I like it. Yeah, back to you, Tim.
No worries, thanks. Try not to drop the microphone this time. Okay, VK3CJN, please explain.
Well, knowing that we had a new member of the group, I thought it was an opportunity to send a Word document, and that was one that I picked up today. I don't quite know what happened with it, but I got the same error message on when I decoded it on the scanner. So there's something funny about the translation from that version of Microsoft Word, I would say, which is a little strange. But it was just a single-page text document relating a story about a lady in a park with her dog that was approached by another dog that was off lead, and I don't have the thing in front of me at the moment, so I won't go through the whole lot, but it was an interesting story, and I'll try again another day with another document that I've got that I think you'll all find funny. VK3FTZD, VK3CJN.
No worries, thanks there, Chris. Okay, I have another 3D printing, surprise, another 3D printing image. I wasn't actually going to do another one, but because James said he does some 3D printing, I just thought I'd send a photo of what's behind me right now and a couple of things I'm working on. This is VK3FTZD with an easy PAL image at the drop of the repeater. VK3AML, VK3FTZD. How did you go decoding that image there, Chris?
No problems at all, Tim. I've just reduced that in size. What is it, 20 dB? And you've certainly got all of that down to a fine art. VK3FTZD, VK3AML.
Thanks, Chris. VK3FTJS. Terry, how did you go decoding that?
Yeah, 21 dB, full decode, 160 segments, and yeah, very nice setup. Tim, sorry. Yeah, as normal, yeah, you're doing well with them. To think you only had one 12 months ago.
Yeah, I count 5 in this garage at the moment. All different types. VK3BOT, Stan, how did you go?
Well, that looks a bit complicated for me. I think I'll stick to old motor cars. 16 dB at VK3BOT. File okay, same as last time.
Excellent. VK3CJN. Chris, how did you go?
Good, 14 dB, and yeah, I think I'm like Stan. I think you stick to old motor cars, or 40 metres or something. Yeah, good picture though, Tim. Very good picture.
Thanks. VK3GTG. How did you go, James?
Yep, 17 dB and all segments okay. Yeah, it looks like, I think the top left one is a Ender 3, is that right? Bottom left, I'm not sure what that is. And the one on the right hand side, it looks either highly modified or fully DIY'd. Either way, that they tend to breed, don't they? I have, well, I've had 3 of my own and built a couple for work. So yeah, I think they're a bit like radios. They must breed at night time. But yeah, it's a very good setup. Very similar assortment of filaments and random printed objects as well, like my shed. Very good. Back to you, Tim.
Yeah, excellent. So we'll go a little bit of details. So the object that you can see that it is printed, and you can see some bolts and stuff that's in the top left corner, is actually a clock mechanism, or actually a watch mechanism to be exact. And when you wind up the dial on the left side of it and just give the right hand side flywheel a quick tap, it just sits there and goes click, 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 which is a bit of fun. Assortments of filaments, anything from ABS to clear purple PLA to 85 TPU, which is really, really soft, almost like rubber. Printers. So you're almost right about the left-hand side printer. It is an Ender 3 clone. It's made by Chinese company Yidamu. It's called a Yidamu Iron Fist, but it's just an Ender 3 clone. I can throw a print at it, it'll print. It's not overly accurate, but it'll print. The printer on the right-hand side started off its life as a TiVo Tarantula. I say started off its life as a TiVo Tarantula because it's had a lot of modifications, and it is super accurate, super good, direct drive. It does pretty much anything I throw at it. I can do my really, really soft filaments. I can do nylon on it. I can do ABS PLA without any problems, and it's got a large bed that's larger than what the Ender 3 clone will do. And now down the very bottom, I'm just about finished, down the very bottom on the left hand side is a dual filament printer. I've got two of these. One I'm going to turn into a desktop CNC for PCB manufacture, and possibly laser cutting if I get around to it. Now this one here, I'm trying to get the firmware to go away from the manufacturer firmware to an open source firmware, and I'm getting issues at the moment. I've got everything working except for cooling fans. Everything else is working except for the cooling fans, and they seem to be swapped around and one not working. Don't know why. It's a firmware issue. I'll work it out. That's it. VK3 AML for an image at the when you're ready. That's the explanation done.
Okay, Tim, I just picked up the wrong microphone, as one is wont to do. VK3 AML with a topical Easy Pal pic photographed at our local shopping centre yesterday, indicating the rather depressing state of shopping. VK3 AML with an Easy Pal pic on the drop of the repeater. And we hit the transmit button, and I touch transmit on the screen, and we hear through the off-air monitor distantly the buzz of the transmission. This is only a 71-second transmission. I can afford, with the small amount of detail in this pic, to break it off, reduce the transmit time. This was the sign on the door of Kmart at Burwood 1, and I can see that the webcam is hunting for the right focus. We're about halfway done. You can see up the top there, halfway done with the transmission. There's the transmit time, 71 seconds. File size is 28K. And the transmission will be done in about 10 seconds. This is VK3 AML, just running a commentary over the stream. And that's that.
VK3 AML, VK3 FTZD, full decode at 24 dB. So something you've done has gone up, or something I've done. Excellent there. VK3 FTJS, how did you go decoding that image?
Yeah, 23 dB, full decode, 138 segments. Yeah, it's a bit of a sad state of affairs, isn't it?
Certainly is. VK3 BOT, how did you go decoding that image?
Yeah, very interesting. 18 dB. VK3BOT. So I wonder if all the other big stores are open. I haven't been up to the hub for over a week. So yeah, very interesting. VK3BOT said that. Oh, did I say it was 18 dB and file okay?
Yes, you did. Excellent. VK3CJN. Chris, how did you go decoding that one?
I saw it start and I thought, 21 dB, that's going to be really, really good. And then the repeater ident came in and dropped it down to 13. And then it went back up to 21 and 21 and 21 and then up to 22. But I'm still missing 22 segments, so even though it was a 22 dB file, I didn't get a decode on it, unfortunately. But I can get that off Facebook later.
Okay, no worries. And VK3GTG, James, how did you go?
Yeah, full decode, 15 dB, all segments okay, and yeah, bit of a sad state of affairs we're in at the moment, but I guess I'll have to wait a little bit longer before I can get my cheap Chinese goods from Kmart again. Well, without click and collect, that is. Back to you, Tim.
True. VK3AML for comment.
Just that this was seen on the front door of Kmart and at a couple of other major distributors. Cash Converters is closed. The travel agents obviously are closed. About 2/3 of the shops, all of the food shops are open, but that's about it, as you would expect with a snap lockdown like we've had. Not that I'm saying it's not necessary. What is it? 350 known contact points in Melbourne for a new Indian strain. It's about time something was done. And don't worry about not seeing it, Chris. The full video will be linked to the Facebook page after we finish the stream. There are between 1 and 8 viewers on the screen I've seen through the time that we've been on, and it's still streaming, I think. VK3 FTZD and group VK3AML.
That's really cool there, Chris. Good stuff. Okay, over to Terry, VK3FTJS for the next image.
Hey, on the drop of the repeater, this pretty self-explanatory image. Enjoy.
Oh, very droll. Yeah.
VK3FTJS, VK3FTZD. What did I tell you about jokes like this? It's a good one, I'll give you that. Full decode, 19 dB. Excellent. VK3AML, Chris, how did you go?
Yeah, it got a bit of hot under the collar. And that's as bad a pun as I can think of. VK3FT's ZT, VK3AML. And you'll hear me chuckling on the stream.
Good stuff. VK3BOT, Stan, how did you go?
Mr. CJN, I do believe that we have a worthy contender. Yes. Now, we had, just let me do something here. Flick that out of the way. 18 dB at VK3BOT. File OK.
Dear, excellent. VK3CJN, Chris, how did you go?
That one burns me up. 13 dB full. No, it's full
Bad
dB, but
jokes.
it's just 29 remaining segments. Amazing. But that's because he's running. Yeah, he's doing all the right things. Yeah, good picture though. Yeah, definitely. And I agree, definitely a contender.
Oh dear. The joke's
Excellent. And James, VK3 GTG, how did you go?
Yeah, I got it. It came through. Full decode, but 32 remaining segments at 12 dB. And what sound does a what is it? A sheep, a drum, and a snake make when you drop it off a cliff? But back to you.
Oh dear. Terry, for any comment on this one? VK3FTJS, VK3FTZD.
No, it is what it is.
Okay.
No worries. Over to you, Stan, for an image. VK3BOT, VK3FTZD, and the Easy Power Net.
Very good. So I have changed my level for this image. I will be very interested to see what happens. I actually have dropped the level a little bit. So there we are, at the drop of the repeater, VK3BOT with the next image.
Impeccable timing there, Stan, VK3BOT. Full decode, just at the end of your transmission. The repeater ident came through, but it was already decoded by that stage. 17 dB here. 17. VK3AML. Chris, how did you go?
18 dB and very nice Banksia. VK3 FTJS, VK3AML.
Thanks, Chris. VK3FTJS, how did you go, Terry?
Yeah, 20 dB full decode. Yeah, definitely nice photo.
Excellent. Chris, VK3 CJN, how did you go?
Dan's been reading May Gibbs too much and showing us pictures of Banksia men. Yeah, good picture, very good picture. At 17 dB into beautiful downtown Lilydale.
Excellent. And James, VK3 GTG, how did you go?
Yep, full full decode, all segments okay at 16 dB. And I'm sure there's a bird in the middle of that Banksia bush. Back to you.
Not sure. Over to Stan. He will know for sure. VK3 BOT for comment.
Well, I have to confess that if I didn't know any better, I'd say there was a bird in that bush, but there isn't. Yeah, and somebody called it a Banksia, and I guess that's what it is. And not a bee in sight. It was one thing that I did expect to find, but I didn't see it. Also around Shiprock Falls. Yeah, it's actually a nice little picnic area there. The problem is that if you're not careful, you fly straight past it without seeing it. There we are. Back to you, Tim. VK3FTZD, VK3BOT. Oh, by the way, nobody commented about the drop in level. So I guess it is, and judging by the readings that you're all giving me, the readings are the same. So, yeah, we're going to see what happens. Back to you, Tim. VK3FTZD, VK3BOT.
VK3DUB.
Acknowledging VK3DUB, I think it was.
Yeah, VK3 Delta Uniform Bravo, just jumping in on the tail end here.
Yeah, welcome. I didn't catch the name, sorry. This is VK3FTZD.
It's Grayson. It's only my second round. I jumped on last week for a little while as well and had a pretty good time, so I just got home. I thought I'd come back and give it another shot.
Ah, awesome as. Are you able to transmit and receive?
Yeah, able to do both.
Okay, excellent. Okay, we'll pass it over to Chris first for his next image, and then over to you for an image. VK3 CJN, you're up for an image when you are ready.
Could I just have it for a minute, please, Tim?
Yeah, go ahead there, Chris.
Just for the sake of those who are on here listening, if they want to look in, you don't have facilities for EasyPal or digital slow scan, search on Google for Melbourne DSSTV net. Melbourne DSSTV net. And on YouTube that should bring it up. VK3FTZD, VK3AML.
Thanks there, Chris. And we've also got the Facebook page as well, where we post all the images from the night, as well as lots of information. A lot of the guys there, they know a thing or two about how to set up your radio and all that for receiving and transmitting. That is the Melbourne EasyPower net. You'll find us, if you search for Melbourne EasyPower net, you'll find us there. Okay. Over to Chris, VK3 CJN, for your image.
Hey, now I'm watching Chris as well. I've got it up on the computer. I found it. Thank you for giving us that link. Alright, at the drop of the repeater, I will send an interesting picture this time. I think some of you will find it interesting, some of you may find it offensive.
VK3 CJN, that's a good one, I like that. Full decode at 20 dB here. VK3 AML, Chris, how did you go decoding that one?
Switching his mic on for streaming. Yeah, fine. Isn't it the truth, though? There was a time when you wanted a doctor as a child, you know. You wanted your child to become a doctor. Now if they're a plumber or an electrician, they'll be paid more. VK3 FTZD, VK3 AML.
That's it, or even a plasterer. The cabinet maker, anything like that, and it seems to be those sort of trades, you'll always be in a job. VK3 FTJS, Terry, how did you go decoding this one?
Yeah, 16 dB full decode, 107 segments, and definitely, yeah.
VK3 BOT, Stan, how did you go decoding this one?
Well, it's actually extremely interesting. When I was growing up, the advice to us was to go and get a trade. Baker, boiler maker, welder, whatever. And interesting, fast forward about 40 odd years, and I was working with people who were train drivers, and they had 2 university degrees, and they were not working in those university degrees because you don't need a university degree to be a train driver. It was extremely interesting. 13 dB at VK3 BOT file okay, and I'm not downcrying university degrees. If you've got one, it's good, and yeah, I hope I'm getting good use of it.
That's it. No, excellent. VK3 GTG, how did you go with that one?
Full decode, all segments okay at 14 dB, and yes, very true. I've got I'm a mechanical engineer, but and hired as one, luckily. I'm saying that it's getting harder with the recent what do you call it? Car manufacturers closing down over the last few years. There's a lot less jobs in that area, but yeah, I have most of my mates around here are tradies of various kinds, and sometimes a bit jealous of extra cashies they can do on the side and all that. So yeah, back to you, Tim.
Yes. Cool. And VK3 DUB, did you get a decode on that one?
Yeah, I got a full decode on that one at 14 dB. I just had a few level issues at the start, but that was on my end. I certainly wish I'd chased a trade. I've got it when I used to live up sort of in the WA Northern Territory during the mining boom. There were blokes making a tremendous amount of money up there, and I quite often wish I'd followed them. Back to you.
Yeah, no worries. VK3 CJN for comment.
Does it really need it? Yes, I now have Chris's stream up on a third laptop in here, which is good. So I can see what my transmission looks like on his waterfall, which is quite interesting. A good deal different to what I see on the waterfall on the laptop attached to the scanner. So it's a good exercise in that respect. I don't think this needs any further comment. VK3 FTZD, VK3 CJN.
Okay, no worries. We'll pass it over to VK3 DUB for his first image for the night. Take it away.
Yeah, VK3 DB. I'll give it a whirl. As the gentlemen who were here last week will know, I had a couple of transmit issues that took me a while to get sorted out. So when the repeater drops, I'll give it a whirl, and we'll see how we go.
VK3DUB, VK3FTZD, full decode, 21 dB. Excellent, excellent image for the first one, and wow, very curious about that. VK3AML, Chris, how did you go decoding this one?
Looks like the control booth of a broadcast station to me. I'd just be very curious to know what this is. Very impressive anyway. I wish I had as good a view out into a garden. I'll be very interested in the story, and we are streaming it. VK3FTZD, VK3AML.
Thanks there, Chris. VK3FTJS, Terry, how did you go decoding this one?
17 dB, full decode, and I'd imagine that's either a crane or a straddle, or maybe even a control room of such.
Yeah, no worries. VK3BOT, Stan, how did you go?
VK3DUB transmitted his first images last week. In fact, he did everything last week for the first time, and last week he came in after a little bit of mucking around at 19 dB, and he has done exactly the same thing again tonight, straight up front, 19 dB. This looks very similar to an image that he sent last week. In fact, I flicked back through my my photos, and he sent a colour image last week that looks very similar to this. So there we are, 19 dB at VK3BOT file OK.
No worries, thank you, Stan. VK3CJN, Chris, how did you go decoding this one?
Yes, Grayson, good job continuing on where you left off last week. Fantastic. 21 dB here, full decode. And how can I argue with that? And yeah, I agree with Stan. I'm sure I saw that this last week, but I can't find it on my picture list. But that doesn't mean it's not there. VK3FTZD, VK3CJN.
Okay, no worries. VK3GTG, how did you go decoding this one?
Yep, all good. All segments all came through good, and 18 dB. Yes, I could guess what it is, but I have no idea. So yeah, I'm all ears. Please explain. Back to you, Tim.
Yeah, no worries. VK3DUB, please explain. Give us some details on what we are looking at here.
Yeah, VK3DUB, thank you for all the good signal reports. Glad it got through okay. I actually had a look at Chris's stream just to make sure I wasn't sending an empty carrier or anything like that. But that image there, those of you who were on last week's net may recall I sent through the colourised photograph, so BOT and CJN got it. The Wolfgang Sievers photograph of the Alcoa plant in Geelong, and this is the same control room but in 2015 after the plant was shut down, so this is one that I took, and a little bit different. I'm not quite the photographer that Wolfgang Sievers is, but yeah, it certainly shows the change in technology.
Yeah, excellent. Wow. Cool stuff. Okay. Now I'm just looking. What's the time? Yeah, well, time for one more. Okay. This is VK3FTZD with an easy PAL image at the drop of the repeater. VK3AML. Chris, how did you go decoding this image?
I could say something facetious like I take a very dim view. 20 dB and nice moonlight shot. VK3FTZD, VK3AML.
Thanks, Chris. VK3FTJS. Terry, how did you go?
Yeah, 21 dB, full decode, 160 bits, and yeah, spot on. Nice image, I like that.
VK3BOT. Stan, how did you go with this one?
Did you take it with your drone? After all, it's obviously not on the ground, but it's a good image. Yeah. 16 dB, VK3BOT, file OK.
No, unfortunately it was not taken on the drone, or with the drone. My drone is a bit small for this sort of stuff, and it doesn't have the capability for a camera to be attached to it. Actually, maybe. Might be able to fit a GoPro or something to it. Anyway, VK3CJN. Chris, how did you go decoding this one?
No problems with that. My first impression was, wow, that's a great picture. It's just, yeah, the reflection off the water there is amazing. 14 dB and a full decode.
VK3GTG, how did you go decoding this one?
Yep, all good. 16 dB and yeah, all segments okay. Yeah, awesome shot. Like Chris said, reflecting off the waves there, or the water, both. And yeah, let us know about it. Back to you.
Yeah, no worries. VK3DUB, how did you go decoding this one?
Yeah, DB, I had it at 17, but then it dropped the sync in the last sort of 40 bits or so, so I think that just might be an issue with the level out of my radio there. So not to worry, back to you.
Okay, no worries. Excellent, excellent. So, a quick description on this one. We were staying in a house, or in a B&B, or not B&B, Airbnb I think it is called. It was along Great Ocean Road the night before lockdowns happened for my wife and my anniversary as well as her birthday. So this was the image, this is an image I took to watch the eclipse. That was our view of the moon. It was up higher by the time the eclipse came through, but yeah, that was the view of the moon and across the water. I thought that would make an excellent picture for the net. The house is actually, I think it's labelled 40 metres above the beach. It's called the Pole House. And yeah, it's a really nice, interesting experience. The house is mounted on top of a pole. Nice accommodation and all that. Yeah, over to you, VK3AML, for the last image of the night.
And I forgot to put the streaming on, which I have now. So we hit the transmit button, like so, and touch the transmit on the screen. We hear the call sign being transmitted. And for those interested, I'm transmitting a picture in 71 seconds of a Tesla electric car which has pulled up to refuel with electricity, not petrol, at an electronic refueling station, an EV link, at Forest Hill Chase in the eastern suburbs of Melbourne. Somebody has paid something like $70,000 for that car. It doesn't look very impressive, but I'm sure they're the future. Anyway, this is VK3AML transmitting an easy power pick. We're about 2/3 of the way through the transmission according to that little thermometer, the horizontal thermometer there. What is it, 138 segments, and we've done 117 of them as I speak. We're just coming up for the end of the transmission, and hopefully the others will see it. And that's me lot.
That looks like a electric car charging station in a shopping centre. Excellent image, full decode, 23 dB here. VK3 FTJS. Terry, how did you go decoding that one?
Yeah, 25 dB, full decode, 138 segments, and yeah, nice Tesla. Very nice. Or is that Toyota? I can't see. It is a Tesla, is it?
Sure, it's a Tesla. VK3 BOT. Stan, how did you go decoding that one?
Well, there you are, you're looking at the future of the motor industry. There is apparently already one of the four-wheel drives is being tested in battery operating mode. Now, I can't remember which one it is, but I was actually watching a YouTube video today about it, and yeah, that's whereabouts it's going to go. 20 dB at VK3 BOT file is okay, as always, from young Chris.
VK3 CJN. Chris, how did you go decoding that one?
Problems. My guess is Forest Hill.
Well done.
Just looks like Forest Hill. 22 dB, and for everybody's information, those two pictures of the Alcoa control room that Grayson sent over the last 2 weeks, I have put together in a single post on the Facebook group. So if you want to have a look at them side by side, they're there. VK3 FTZD, VK3 CJN.
Thanks, Chris. VK3 GTG, how did you go decoding this one?
All good, 18 dB and 138 segments okay. And yes, electrifying. Back to you.
Oh, God.
And VK3 DUB, how did you go with this one?
Yeah, DB, 20 dB, and full decode, as always, from AML. Yeah, certainly looks like a Tesla to me, and thank you to CJN for putting those photos up on the Facebook page, much appreciated.
Yeah, good stuff. And a quick comment for VK3 AML before we close up.
Yeah, no worries. Chris, you're very much on the ball. It is at Forest Hill Chase, where I believe your offspring Mary used to work. And it's one of the 3 shopping centres that's our regulars. Forest Hill Chase, Burwood 1 and Vermont South are our 3 most commonly frequented shopping centres. It's a Tesla, so somebody has paid upwards of $70,000 for that very unassuming looking car for the price, but I believe their performance is superb. And I increasingly see cars in the charger stations. There are 2 charger stations at Forest Hill Chase, and increasingly I see them occupied. Anyway, thanks for having me at your place, and I'll hand it back to the chairman, VK3, and thank you for all being on the stream, which I'll repeat is anybody who Googles Melbourne DSSTV net, that is Melbourne DSSTV net, will bring up the YouTube stream. VK3, and I hope to do it for future weeks, probably a little bit more sophisticatedly once I work out how to circumvent shooting a picture of the screen with a webcam. VK3FTZD, VK3AML.
Excellent, thank you, Chris, and your efforts are always greatly appreciated with the net. Excellent, okay, we'll do a quick round of 73s. We are going a little bit over time, but we'll say 73s and all that before, and do finals before we before the closing announcements. VK3 AML for any extra final comment? Yes, possibly. Okay, VK3 FTJS for finals.
Yeah, say thanks to everybody for participating, and thanks for running it, Tim and Chris, for putting the stream up, and yeah, have a good week, everybody. 73s for now from VK3 FTJS.
Yeah, excellent. VK3 BOT, Stan, for finals.
Of course, we always have to have the word from our sponsor. Yes. What can I say? Thank you for having me at your house. Thank you for being at mine. We will meet again next Thursday at 9 o'clock. 7-3's all from Victor Kilo 3 Bravo Oscar Tango, who will now be clear.
Thanks, Stan. VK3 CJN for finals.
For your efforts again at running the net. Thanks, Chris, for a very interesting video stream. I'm quite impressed with how that has gone. It's fascinating. I'll be even more impressed if you work out how to do it without the webcam. That'll be good. Yeah, it's been another interesting session. The 2 hours just goes so fast. It's amazing. I really, really enjoy doing this. So thanks everybody for coming around to my radio and putting in your bits and pieces. No, that's not right. Your files. I'll shut up now. I've only had water to drink tonight, I swear. VK3 FTZD, VK3 CJ, and good night all.
No worries. VK3 GTG for finals.
Yeah, thanks for running the net, Tim. It's been great. Been my first time on this net, and yeah, I'm going to have to probably catch up with you guys. Probably better on the Facebook page, so I can see some pictures of things of how I should what I should make or something to be able to transmit as well, rather than just receive. All I've got at the moment is like a male-to-male 3.5mm stereo jack from the radio to the computer mic port. So yeah, that works okay, but you could be able to go both ways. Anyway, I'll catch up at a later point. Thanks for that. Back to you, VK3 FTZD, VK3 GTG.
No worries. Thank you very much for joining us, and hopefully you enjoy transmitting digital images. I know it's a lot of fun. VK3 DUB for any final comments.
Yeah, DUB, thanks for running the net, Chris, and thank you everyone for letting me tack on the tail end there. For CJN, you might want to look into software called OBS, which will let you capture the output of the screen on your laptop and hopefully stream it to YouTube. And GTG, I've just built a little interface box, which wasn't too difficult and didn't require a huge amount of room or parts. So if you need a hand, just give us a bell and I can give you some circuit diagrams and things. But yeah, apart from that, VK3 DUB clear.
thank you there. Okay. If, for those that are listening on the side, if you've been listening or hearing weird sounds coming from your radio, this is digital slow scan imaging sound effects that you're hearing. We use digital slow scan software called EasyPal to decode these images. And you've been listening to the EasyPal net that is run on Thursday evenings starting at 9 p.m. and finishing at 11. We run on the VK3 RML repeater. This repeater is located at 146.700 with a negative 600 kilohertz offset and a 91.5 hertz tone to access. The EasyPower Net is a sanctioned activity by the repeater owner-operator Amateur Radio Victoria, and we thank them for allowing us to use the repeater for our hobby. My name is Tim, VK3FTZD. I've been your host tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure. I've enjoyed my evening. Also, don't forget we have a Facebook group. The Facebook group is found by searching for Melbourne EasyPower, and you'll find us that way. Also like to thank Chris for digitally streaming it with the Melbourne DSS live stream. And yeah, thank you everyone for joining me for tonight's net. 73s, enjoy the evening. This is VK3FTZD returning the repeater back to its normal use.
And if I can get the webcam in the right position, and I'm looking at it properly, this is VK3AML concluding the web stream. Gosh, look at my hair, it's all up on end. This is the first time we've streamed this on internet, and reasonably successful. It's just that I don't have any screen capture software to... I don't know how OBS can be used for doing that. We'll have to find out. But with that, I'll wish everybody all the best for the Melbourne DSSTV, Melbourne Digital Slow Scan TV net. And we'll be on it again next Thursday night at 9 p.m. through to 11 p.m. Melbourne time. So this is VK3AML on behalf of the EasyPal Digital Slow Scan group, wishing everybody